But it's recording already, but we could always edit it.
You have me feeling like we're gonna sing karaoke right now.
Yeah, well, we could. We could.
Kick it up, maestro.
What's up, Ed? Welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. So today I have a special guest with me. This is Real Talk NYC number, I believe, 7 or 6 or so, somewhere around there. But today I have a special guest, my friend over here, Ed. He's one of the top producer in Queens, dominant. He's a family man. He's a gym fanatic. I see him on social medias. I follow him, and I want to get myself back in the gym as well. He's inspiration. And today we're going to pick Ed brain and maybe give you guys back a little bit of how you get and your journey into real estate. So we will do that. But before we do that, I would like to give a shout out to our sponsor here at Bayview Courtyard Condo in Brooklyn. Here is 151 unit, the highest in South Brooklyn area. And right now, we're not in our usual, I would say, area at the lobby. I have moved Ed over here. I can showcase him. Oh.
Damn,
it's okay.
Mic check, can you still hear me?
Yes. We are sitting now at, this is a townhouse style condo. Here is a 4-bedroom and 3-bathroom townhouse. And this is the first time, I guess, Ed is here. What do you think,
Yeah,
Ed?
bro. Dude, first of all, we enter a condo building, right? We came inside. I don't even know how I found parking outside, but we came into the condo building entrance. We came upstairs. We saw some of the condos you guys had available.
Yeah.
Beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I love the floor-to-ceiling windows. I've always loved that. Yeah. But then you took me to the 4th floor. We stepped out to what's supposed to be like a garden area.
This is our podcast studio
right? Now. And then he takes me to this townhouse, and I'm like, dude, hold on a second. When did we step outside? He's like, no, there's a townhouse connected to the condominium, so you have a choice, all right?
Yeah.
You could either buy a condo or you could buy a townhouse. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So we're in a townhouse on top of a building overlooking the ocean and the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
Right?
Gorgeous.
So it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the summers look like. I can't wait to see. So you have a party that we can come to and do some networking.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, sure thing.
Nice.
But today I'm looking forward to picking Ed brain. Oh, I want to hear his journey, how he gets started into real estate, so we can actually share with you guys as well, our audience over here. So Ed, let's jump into it. How's your journey into real estate? What got you into real estate, Ed?
HGT. No, let me stop. I'm kidding. I know a lot of people say that, but no. So funny enough, I actually did sales prior to. So I did sales in the past.
Cool.
I actually opened and started my own plumbing company.
Wow.
So I did plumbing as well. And as I started to accrue clearly funds, I said I wanted to invest. Now, I'm a New York native, born and raised here. I'm from Queens. Nice. If you heard me in the past, I've said it in the past. So my issue was that I didn't trust anybody. So being from New York, I'm like, I don't trust anybody. So I'm going to jump into real estate. That way I can invest my money. So fast track, that was in 2018.
Nice.
We went through the whole process. I learned a lot.
Oh.
Luckily, like I said, I had prior to that, I had sales. I had sales experience.
Okay.
I've sold digital media, websites. I've sold all types of. It's funny, we saw Staples out there. I sold I sold business supplies from corporate companies, so B2B business.
Okay.
So I did take a lot of training courses as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the background in it. So fast track through, we went through the pandemic. I kind of just started to jump into real estate and it took off.
That's nice.
It took off.
So to you, what is the biggest objection or hurdle story that you have in real estate? Have you been through that? Like what is your recent, maybe think about it. What is the hardest deal that you have before in real estate?
Just real estate.
Well, if you want to tell other stories.
No, I was just, because I know you mentioned,
real estate,
like what was one of your difficulties?
For instance, I would say any problem with sellers, or maybe problem with the transaction, or there's certain things like hiccup in between of the real estate.
So, dude, I got a ton of stories, man.
So just pick one of your recent
That's
ones.
fine.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
something. I mean, luckily, thank God, I haven't had any recent issues. I mean, there hasn't been anything huge as far as. But
Let me rephrase that. Maybe in your career.
yeah. So thinking back to it, nothing big. It wasn't like a big deal, right?
Okay.
Like it wasn't like the whale deals that we're all looking for. You know what I mean? Like this was, for me, it was my first deal, right? I'll never forget it. It was my first deal.
Yeah.
All right. I got my license. I got a lead.
Yeah.
It was a friend of mine. They were like, hey, look, I know someone who needs an apartment to rent. And I'm like, all right, that's a good start, right? I'm going to rent this apartment out. So I went through the process, and this occurs. And honestly, this is one of the things that I feel give us a bad rep. Okay, because I met with the agent. They were a couple, different brokerage. I'm not going to name who they are. But it was interesting because as I went through the transaction process with them, I'll never forget this. They literally pulled me to the side. The tenant qualified, all right? She had her documents. They were set. They were good. Credit was good. Everything was in place.
Okay.
So when we went for the second interview, they actually pulled me to the side. And in the corner, they had told me that I had to split my commission 3 ways because they were a couple.
Oh.
So you know how like on the, I know you guys do the Brooklyn MLS, we have the Long Island MLS.
Yeah.
So you put the splits 50-50 and it was there.
Yes.
Shout out to my dude Vincent Koo, because he actually, he was there for that first story. And I called him. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like, this is what I'm kind of going through. So he said, you know what? Print out the MLS sheet. Highlight in the remarks and highlight the commission split. So if you ever get caught in that position, your best friend is the MLS sheet, because whatever's on there, you print that sheet out. If they decide to later on change commission, change anything on there, you can literally go back to it and check and say, hey, this is my proof. No. So they literally try to tell me to split my commission 3 ways. Wow. So when my tenant wrote the checks, we went to the office. She literally gave me the envelope. When we went through the contracts, and remember, as a realtor, commission is aside, right? Number one most important thing is what? The customer, the client. We need to get these folks to close their transaction. That's the most important part. So commission aside, like I said, it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big lesson. You understand?
That's right.
Because one thing I learned from that was you can't just do things as you please, right? In the MLS,
it's like a wild, wild west in real estate. That's what people project it to be.
You got to look out for the person.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So what happened? We're at the table. Like, leases are getting signed. Everything gets filled out. They say, where's the checks? So I said, here, with a copy of the MLS highlighting the commission split 50-50. They flipped out. They lost it. They, in the office, were trying to close it out and say, forget it. This is not happening today. And I told them, listen, whatever you have to discuss can be discussed after this is done. Simple as that.
Wow.
Right? You just got to keep your cool. So in moments like that, if something's occurring, you have to keep your cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to, like I said, keep all the informational
100%.
stuff that you have to.
100%.
Yeah, if not, somebody's really gonna screw you over.
Yeah.
Just from that little small, I would say, like deal on this way to get the job done.
100%.
Wow, that's crazy.
Which was nuts, man. And then they literally, it was funny because after we had the conversation, I'm not gonna lie, they tried to play me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a little.
That was my first deal.
Oh wow! So that's.
And they found out, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this was your first deal." In front of my client, they're gonna tell me, "I didn't know this was your first deal." Yeah. Now I know as a real estate agent, right? Your first deal, you're not gonna tell your client that's your first deal, right? You're not gonna be like, "Yo, this is my first deal." You know? Hey, how you doing? Brian, nice to meet you. This is my first time here. Never done this before. First deal. Never gonna say that.
See, everybody started out with a 0. Same thing with myself, right? Everybody start out with a 0. Nobody gonna start out with like, hey, I have experience and all that. Everybody start out somewhere. But you did start out that, and then that's how in real estate I feel that, getting your license is easy, right? But getting that experience is the next step. That makes you the differences of you and then agents that is not been there in a way. So
I have a funny question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long did it take for you to get your license?
Actually, I got my license pretty quick. Yeah. I think I failed. Maybe I failed one time, but then after that, I picked it up because mostly getting the license is you can take it as many times you want. The state license and stuff like that. I went through the school and through the process, 72 hours and getting my license. I got it on I think my second shot of the state, and the first one I honestly, in the beginning, for me, I didn't really. My intention wasn't into real estate. I got the license because of my father that want me to get into real estate.
Oh,
You see, so nice. I was never really. I didn't really study. That's the thing, right? I wasn't really taking real estate in a serious way, but I just got it for the heck of it, put it that way, for my father to be satisfied and get off my back. But I had to give a shout out to my dad. He had put me on the path of this career, and I have been doing it for the past 15 years. But
very nice.
I know.
I didn't know that story about you.
Yeah, I should share my story a little bit more. A lot of people, I haven't have people interview me. That's
I'm
why
gonna interview you next episode. I'm gonna sit where Brian's sitting, and Brian's gonna sit where I'm sitting, and I'm gonna interview you.
Sure, man. I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah, man. Because I got a ton of questions for you, man.
Yeah. I mean, we could flip the script now. Maybe. No. But today is more for you, Ed. We would like to pick your brain on this story. But I don't mind sharing my story. But my story is going to be a little bit long. As I say, that's another episode fine. For sure. But today,
make it a 1 hour special.
We could do that. We could do that for sure thing. I mean, if the audience is willing to do, I mean, I'm all ears for that. But my story in real estate, just give this quick overall. My dad got me into it. I never take real estate seriously until I got into a financial predicament. Then I took real estate a little bit more serious. That is my story.
Yo, that right there is key. I think every successful person has failed.
Yes.
Has been in their wits. Has been out of money.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like if you're successful out there, you know exactly what that feels like.
Because real estate is not all the glam and glitz that people think it is. That's why I want to bring this podcast and I want to bring you on to share that kind of story. The failure of real estate. I wouldn't say the failure of real estate, but what they have to go through to get to where you are as of today in real estate, right? Because real estate really need that self-motivation, that self-mindset, that entrepreneurship, right? Real entrepreneurship. Everybody nowadays say to themselves that they are entrepreneur, but they don't think what entrepreneur really mean. You're your own boss, right? You're doing what you need to do to get out of bed every day to self-motivate you to do what you need to do. So if you don't fail, I would say, if you don't put yourself in like what Steve Jobs is saying all the time is stay hungry and think that you are in a way dying every single next day, you would never do what you need to do to get that to the next level. I think that's what real estate is.
That's true.
You have to, because in real estate, you have to hunt every day. Honestly, that's how I put it in terms of real estate. It's like
you do.
You are a hunter, and you are out there hunting for leads and hunting for that transaction, hunting for that purpose to get it over that hump, right? And then you have to find the purpose to make you motivated. You have to push yourself to that limit, right? Because who in their natural self, maybe there is people out there, but want to talk to strangers every single day.
No one.
Right?
I think we were raised, like my generation, for example, we were always told, right? Like, yo, God bless our parents, right? But they had to work, right? They had to provide, they had to put food on the table. So what does that mean? They had to leave the kids at home. Maybe it wasn't good, you know what I mean? But, if you're strapped for cash, you got to do what you have to do. And what do you tell the kids, right? Don't open the door, don't talk to strangers. If somebody calls, don't pick up the phone, right? So now as an adult, what are they telling us to do? Hey, if you want to make money, you have to talk to people you don't know. And you're just like, what?
It's a whole flip, right?
What do you mean I have to talk to people I don't know? Like, I've been staying away from the entire world. Yeah. When COVID hit, I felt like so many people were excited because the 6 feet of distance rule worked. And everybody was like, oh, I have to wear a mask now? Boom. You don't even know what I look like. I don't even have to look at you. Forget it. It was perfect. But then now it's like, it's true. I feel like a lot of people came out of it and they want to eagerly talk to someone.
Yeah.
Like people just want to talk to somebody.
I feel human being, we are natural socialized people. We want to socialize. Yeah. we need that environment to maybe self-proven or maybe recognition or whatever it is. We're a socialized person. We're not somebody,
social creatures.
social
100%.
Yeah.
They did a study of that. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
Where like I don't know who they did it to, but I gotta look this up on Google. But they did a study where it's like if someone literally is just kept away, not talking to anyone, that alone would kill them.
You would?
You know what I mean? And it's true. And we naturally we need to talk to somebody. And you know what's crazy? I don't think we're scared of talking to people. Right? I think we're scared of what to talk about, right? Like if I'm a new if I'm a new real estate agent,
what would you recommend for new
I can't talk to you about numbers. Yeah. You want me to talk to strangers and talk about the market? I don't even know how the market works, and I don't know this person. So what does that mean? I'm not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You want me to cold call people? I'm not cold calling. I don't even know what I'm calling about, right?
That is true.
So what does that mean? It's not the fear of talking to the individual. It's the fear of doing the action. And what's the action? Yeah, I have to call somebody, but I don't know, right? So if you don't know, what do you need to get there, right?
That's great.
So it was funny because I was on a call with the office, and they were talking about time management, but we all need that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Time management is the key, man.
Like we all need that.
Yeah, we all.
You know what I mean? But if we literally plug it in and say, okay, this is what I'm missing, right? This is what I'm scared of.
Okay.
Well, what's going to get over that hump? Well, maybe I should learn the market more. Oh,
yeah.
You just answered your own question, right? Like, I got to learn more about my market. Why? So I could be more of a local expert,
Yes.
right? I need to go out and meet people. Why? So that they could get to know me.
That's right.
You know what I mean? There's nothing more interesting to me is when a new relationship starts, and that's your first foot, right? Your first impression. I like that first impression with somebody is key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how many times, like I'll be honest, man, when we first met it, man, I clicked. I already knew. We spent time together. I'm like, this guy, Brian, man, he's cool. I love this guy. He's real. Like I could talk to him. You know what I mean? That happens. That occurs. You know what I mean?
That's chemistry.
Exactly.
Yes.
And all we are is atoms, right? Combined, put together, bouncing off of each other. And the reason why we are looking the way we look is because all those little atoms came together, and it's an attraction.
Yes.
It's an attraction, right? But now, outside of that, just in the world in general, you are who you attract.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who's always good, happy-go-lucky, optimistic, then guess what? Naturally, you're going to attract that.
No, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes, and it's funny, I talked to my wife about it and I mentioned it. I'm like, there's different sides, right? We all had to grow and develop, right? So there is a point in time where you just think kind of like an old mentality, let's just say, right? So it's like if somebody comes up to me and starts talking to me out of nowhere and they're just casually having a conversation, the old side of me turns on and says, who is this person? I don't know them. Why are they talking to me? You know what I mean? Naturally. But then you have to turn that off and say, hey, this is probably an opportunity where we can have a casual conversation and it's just going to randomly come up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. So, I mean, for me too as well, now I learned, from my time now in real estate, in a way, all the people that I meet now is a relationship building, and I want them to become like a friend, not really a business transaction anymore. I really truthfully all my clients nowadays is part of kind of like my life journey, and they are part of, I'm part of their life journey as well. So it become that kind of like intimacy of over time, that is how it's supposed to be. In the beginning, my story is I was hard selling all the time, right? Like you're saying, I want to get this deal. I want to, I never think about who that other person is. But nowadays, recommendation for anybody out there, new agents, I think about being that other person's friend. It's like going on a date. I don't know why I always put it out there. It's like going on a date, Try to find out who that other person is, and get to know them.
And for those of you who are single out there, he doesn't mean literally a date. He just means that he's comparing it to a date. I like to compare it to a relationship. That's what it's just there's friendships, there's, the intimate relationships, there's, the relationships you have with your parents, you know what I mean? So it's a relationship that we're building, but 100% I agree with you, man. We have to build a relationship.
I compare it to like baseball. You know why? I compare it as like baseball. It's like
Why baseball?
you're the batter, for instance. Like you're the bad guy, right?
I played baseball, just so you
Play
know.
baseball. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
played
then
baseball as a kid.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would know this terminology then. I compare real estate almost like baseball in a way. So you're the agent. You're batting, right? Every day, the pitch, like you got to pitch, right? So you're the bat. You got to hit that. And then if you hit a home run, that's great. But if you hit it and then it goes somewhere, now it's kind of like you're cold calling, right? That's the cold calling part, or door knocking, whatever style you want it to be. In the beginning is that style. And then first base is, in a way, making that appointment, right?
Get first base.
Yeah, your first base, right? And then
I see what you're saying. So like the balls are your shot.
it's
As you're
steps.
batting, they're coming in, and you're not gonna get them all. But
Yeah.
you know, it's funny. The average, I think, like a good batting average, they say is like I think it's like a 3 or 4 or like a 5 point some like 0.005 or something is a good batting average.
Okay.
Don't quote me on this because I played baseball, but I don't watch it like that. All right.
Okay.
Invite me to play, I'll come play. Invite me to the stadium, I'll watch. But if you invite me to your house to go watch it, I'm not coming. I'm sorry.
I know baseball is kind of long, but the terminology is what I'm trying to say
yeah.
is like, you know, there's steps for you, for instance, getting a
100%.
listing, right?
Yeah.
So first base is kind of like you get that appointment, right? Second base is going on the date. You see, you're going on a date. That's the date part. And then third base is kind of like having them sign the contract, all that stuff, making you do what you have to do, and getting the listing on par, marketing and stuff like that. That's the third base. And then when you hit home, that's when you get closing, right?
Yeah.
There you
Closed.
go. That's like, you see, that
Home
is
run,
my
baby.
cycle of real estate in a nutshell. In a way.
Nice.
You see.
Interesting. I never looked at it that way. Yeah, I don't know.
So it to me is like that is kind of like the game of real estate.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, the way you look. And then it's always a shot. To your
Yeah,
point,
you
it's always
always
a
have a
shot.
shot.
You know, it's always your shot. That's all it is, man.
Yeah.
It comes down to your shot. You know, and I know you mentioned earlier as far as like an advice, because we were kind of touching on that a
Yes.
little bit too,
Yeah.
which is quite frankly, at the end of the day, like you have to learn that we need to work on ourselves. Like don't take it against, like, how do I put it in a nice way? Don't take it in the wrong way or anything like that. But it's just that clearly none of us are perfect. I know I'm not.
Yeah,
You know what I
nobody's
mean?
perfect.
I have to develop myself on a day-to-day basis. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So we have to do that. We have to train ourselves, right? We have to train ourselves to go out there and do the work. But we can't be scared about it. And I know I'm speaking very general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But plug in the words. Like I don't know how to say that any differently. Like it's like they're blanks, right? Like you're playing a game and there's blanks and there's sentences. Like Cards Against Humanity. You ever played that game?
I haven't played that game. No.
You should get it.
Yeah.
You should get it. You should
Okay.
play it.
Okay,
It's
I will.
hilarious, man.
Okay.
But game for adults. But the thing is that the way the game works is that you have cards.
Okay.
You pick, I think, like 7 cards, and it has different words on them.
Okay.
And then there's a question card. So then they ask a question, and you fill in the blanks, right?
Okay.
So what is it? Like, I don't know what affects you. I don't know what your weaknesses are. I truly don't. You know what I mean? I knew what mine were. And I had to sit down there and analyze it. Like, if you're not sitting down and analyzing yourself and your business, then maybe that's an area that we need to work on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As coming out through the gates, I do like a real estate unwrap on every Fridays, right? You
Yes,
tuned
you
in
gotta
last
check 'em
week.
out Friday.
We were talking about the steps. Like, we were literally going through that. Like, we're entering the spring market, right? We have more buyers coming to the market. Interest rates are fluctuating up and down, but people are kind of getting accustomed to it, and they're just like, you know, I'm going to shoot my shot. You know, like, property value continues to go up.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Continues to go up. So people are like, all right, well, if this is it, let me just get something now, because the rent is through the roof. In New York City, I saw that it was $5,000, man. Who is paying that?
There's people paying that. Yes.
Yo,
There's people paying that for sure.
$5,000 rent. You know what you could get for $5,000 in rent a month?
Yeah.
Let's cut that in half. You could get something pretty good for I would say $2,500 to $3,000.
Co-op, condos. I mean, no, depends.
Yeah,
I mean,
with a good down
payments.
payment.
Yeah.
You know,
That is correct. I mean, that's why a lot of renters is converting into homeowners, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the big key thing in life. That is the life journey.
Yeah.
You started out renting before you own something. Everybody start out, but I hope everybody can save the money for that down payment. And so to get that dream home. That's why in our field, I feel like, we are in a very, I would say the best field there is, because you will help somebody get to that dream of theirs.
100%.
And I like that title.
That's a success quote in itself.
Yeah.
Because, and I remember hearing this back then too, was if you can help somebody achieve their goal, you're automatically going to achieve yours.
Oh, yeah.
So look at real estate that way, right? Like if you look at it that way, like I'm going to help this individual accomplish their dream, right? Everybody says here the American dream, right?
That is
like to own a home, to own property, right? You're helping somebody go through that.
Yeah.
And my advice to you, if you're someone new and you're kind of overthinking this, because I'm an overthinker, right? You can ask my wife. I overthink everything. I'm the type of, like, you ever seen that meme on Instagram or the reel where it's a couple and then they're walking through the airport and the husband's like, all right, the exit's on the right. There's 3 windows on the left. There's a trash can there. And then it goes to the female like, making my way downtown, right? That's me. Like, you can ask her. I walk into it and I'm observing everything, right? I'm just so yeah, I overthink everything. But let me simple it down for you, right? We're not working with the properties. We're working with people. So learn how to work with the people.
That's correct.
Everything else falls in line, right? I'm not going to do a deal with somebody if I don't like them, right?
True. That's 100% true.
Now, if you're a real estate agent and you're starting for your first time and you got your first client and the first client is not a nice client, you might stay with them because that's your only client. I get it. We've all been there. You know what I mean? We've all been there. But in my mind, that's the only way I can look at it, is we're truly just dealing with people.
That is 100%. We're a human interaction business. That's who we are. Eventually, you become, nowadays, I don't know, titles. There's a couple titles. I mean, consultants and all these other stuff.
Yeah.
But true, at the end of the day, is that, like I said, you are human business interaction business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked for a lot of sales companies and other and it's funny because with these companies, they say you're the face of the company.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 6 months, 12 months down the road, it's a revolving door business. There's a whole lot of fresh faces in, and and now you're sitting there like second guessing your job because you no longer believe in the product. Guess what? Forget that. Throw that all out to the side. You're the agent, right? You're basically advertising yourself, right? So you as a person, you're unique.
Yeah.
Like Brian, you're unique, bro.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're unique. I'm telling you right now. Why? Because I watch your videos, bro, and I'm like, this guy's he records everything and it just looks good. You know what I mean?
I think if you do enough, I think it's just tend to be something.
Yeah.
Same thing likewise to you, man. I follow you. I seen you out there. Like I said, you motivate me every day to like I said, to look better and to do more. Every single person, like I said, will have some kind of influence on each other. And I like to surround myself with that kind of type of people nowadays. When you start getting a little bit more, I would say older, but that's evident.
Wiser, not older, man. Because you don't look old, man. And neither do I.
Really? Yeah, neither do I. But over time, I would say, like you want to surround yourself with positive people, motivated people, and encourage you to do more and more, right? I mean, I remember when I was younger, if you hang out with the wrong crowd, you're going to go down the wrong path. That's 100% true.
I have a funny story about that, too.
Yeah? Really? Tell it.
Same everything, whatever. Heavily involved into cars.
I love cars, too.
And at some point, we were all unemployed.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Tell us about it.
But it was great because we went through the whole process. Like, I wasn't in the real estate industry then. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's funny because, as you mentioned, as we get wiser, not older, it feels like we live different lifetimes. So, like, back then, I was like heavily involved in the automotive industry.
Nice.
But it's just, again, you surround yourself with those type of individuals. And it's not casting anything on anybody. It's just that, again, we were hanging out one by one. One guy got chopped, the next guy got chopped, and it was just, but we were all hanging out together. You know what I mean? And again, it happens. It was the recession. We all went through it.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when that occurred, that's when that saying really stuck out in my head. You are who you hang out with. And
Yeah.
again, nothing against the individuals I hung out with, because clearly I was one of them. If I wasn't the first one that fell, I was probably like, you know.
I know.
But it's just that's when it actually stuck out in my head, you know. And it's crazy because you have to kind of get, like we said before, you have to kind of go through those falls
You have to.
feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Experience it.
Yeah, like you're not gonna push for something unless you feel it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You're not. I mean, you like I said, you have to. I think more or less, I think for guys, I don't know, I'm talking about females, but I think guys need to experience it. That's the thing with us, right? I mean, we like to action, right? We like to. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm an action guy. You know, like I need to go down the mud and feel it, right?
Very
to
hands-on.
Know that the mud is not where I want to be.
It's like, you know what?
Maybe have a
I can
second thought
taste
about
this
that.
mud, bro. I don't think I want to be down here, man.
Yeah, you know, like, you know, I don't want to be that. But I mean, for female, I'm just saying, female, they would understand that, hey, there's a pile of mud, I ain't gonna step on that shit.
Yeah.
You know? But for guys, I mean, for me, I feel like that's how my wife too. I mean, she told me,
That's
hey,
why
there's
we
a mud
need
over there.
them, bro.
I ain't touching that. But
That's why we need them.
yes, that's why successful guys always have somebody behind
A
them. powerful
powerful female behind them, bro. 100%, man. I'm telling you. Because I say it all the time. I say this jokingly too. It's like, it's like if it was like if somebody asked me, oh, where would you know where would you want to retire and where would you want to live, right? And I'm like, I'm very simple. If I had a shack on the beach with a couple of boats and maybe some jet skis, I would be happy there.
Only a couple of boats.
And I don't mean yachts, brother. I mean like a boat that fits 5 people, so I could rent it out on excursions. That's all. Like if I could just do that, take people snorkeling, I'd be happy.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's a
But
nice lifestyle.
that'd be nice. But then again, you know,
You're working towards that.
that's not what my wife wants, though.
Oh, no?
My wife, and again, God bless her, bro. But it's just, hey, look, I don't blame her. Why? They motivate us.
Yeah.
They push us to want more.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? Because if it was for me by myself, I'd be happy there.
Yeah.
But now she pushes me to want more. There's more that they want. And what do we want to do as men? Supply.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the nature.
We're the suppliers.
We're suppliers.
So
yes.
if you're single out there and you're not supplying, you know why. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So what do you recommend? I mean, right now for you, what is the best source of leads for yourself that you're doing every single day?
I like what you said, source of leads.
Yeah. Like what's gonna, you know, like for if a new agents or even existing agents, what is the best way for them to like jumpstart or focusing on what you focus on?
I like it.
Yeah.
So I like to look at it as there's two versions to that, right? I don't like saying it like this, but it's the truth. Number one is the free version.
Okay.
Right? Because we all look for free versions to do it.
Yeah.
And number two is you got to stop looking for the free version and start paying out of pocket. Right? Because at the end of the day, like if you look at some of these top producers, right, they're buying leads. Like they have these platforms, they have the leads, right? Okay. So if you're gonna try to take the easier route or the less expensive or the cost effective route, then my recommendation is pop up into open houses.
Okay.
Okay. Start to present yourself, as we said before. The first impression is key, right? So if we're at an open house, somebody's coming for the first time, that's your stage.
Yeah.
First impression, right?
Nice.
Be serious about your work, right? If you're going around the office asking to host open houses for other agents and they're not giving it to you, then you have to ask yourself why, right? So if you're not being serious about it, they're not going to give you that opportunity. So be serious about your work. Go out there and show yourself and say, hey, look, this is what I want to do. I want to generate leads and I want to do it. And that's how I did it in the beginning. Yeah, like Gigi, Vincent, all these guys, they had listings. I was in there. I'm like, yo, you need me to do an open house this weekend? I'm there. Oh, you need me to do an open house? I'm there.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And that's how it kicked off.
I think open houses I think a lot of people don't take it seriously, but open houses is a great source of lead generation.
100%.
I mean, I think that's the now. Nobody's out there understand that is the now business now, right? People coming in there is like they shopping for a house.
Yep.
Already. So you understand what they want, right? That's why they are there.
Yep.
It's like almost like going to the mall. If you go into
And
furniture.
And I'm gonna add to that, brother.
Yeah.
The good thing is that there's unfortunately a lot of realtors or agents out there that don't invest when they list. Hence, you get photos of these properties that you really can't even make out, right? Like, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But if you put a good listing in front of me that they took good professional photos, I can actually like connect the rooms as I'm looking through the photos. Oh, they got a floor plan, even better. You know what I mean? Like that's more information. But a lot of these guys don't do that.
They don't.
So what does that mean? People are confused. They may overlook it, and if they don't overlook it, they're probably going to check on it because of the number, the value. So what does that mean? They're going to show up. And guess who's going to be there to present the property? You are.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
And
So
don't just...
if you hire Eddie, you will get professional photo, right?
Oh, yeah,
What
100%.
can I get? The full service of Eddie over here. I mean, I understand. You see, getting your license is easy, but understanding the path of the process of getting the deal done is totally different.
100%.
Right? So if they hire you, Ed, that's what you're going to get. The professional side, right?
Yeah.
Better picture qualities, better service-wise. What else can they get from you?
That's just to name a few. I can't give you all of that stuff because at the end of
Just
the
giving
day,
out all the secret sauce
I'm
over
not
here.
giving you.
I want to give him all the secret sauce right here to share with you guys. Yeah.
No, but I mean, look, like, and then to just tie back into the leads too, man. I know they got like Op City too. Op City you can join. I know that they actually are a back-end paying company.
Oh.
So if you are going to take on leads, you can jump on that. You pay, I think, like maybe, I don't even want to say numbers.
Okay.
Don't hold me against it, but I think it's like 30% referral fee or something like
Okay.
that. You know, but there's, again, different companies. You can also look, I think Street Easy also does one too.
So for new agents out there, I mean, what your recommendation right now? You'd tell them the open house is one big key thing.
Correct.
To do. Would you recommend any like door knocking, free kind of thing? Door knocking, cold calling?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna say
Social media.
no. I was gonna. I mean, but well, for me, it was easier to get in front of the person.
Okay.
Right. So for me, it was easier to door knock.
Door knocking. I like door knocking too.
I prefer it.
Yeah,
it's easier for
100%.
me. You know what I mean?
I mean, door
But-
knocking is excellent. I started. Yeah, I mean, I did cold calling too. But I feel more successful in the door knocking as well. When the weather started getting, I used to door knock when it was like negative degree.
Dude,
back in the days.
I went out in the wintertime. I went out in the wintertime too.
Yeah. I was out there, man. I door knock every door and give them my flyers. But that is one inexpensive way for new agents to jump on.
Correct.
You're not spending like a lot of money.
You're not.
Yeah.
However, there is an opportunity for you to actually, again, and I said it before, you got to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
Not everything's going to be free. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally agree.
Also, like, if you knock on a door, like I've knocked on doors and just left a business card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's all I had left.
Yeah.
But imagine if you took it up a notch. You know what I mean? Imagine if you came and you left like a door hanger.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if you came and you left a flyer. Imagine if your office had a listing down the road. It's not your listing, right?
okay.
But hey, guess what? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
My name is Ed. I don't know if you noticed, but our office actually listed the house down the block.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Has 5 bedrooms, 3 baths.
Oh.
Who do you know that might want to move into the neighborhood?
He just gave you a gem right
Right?
there. There you
Like-
go. That's your script on door knocking.
It's not. Yeah, it's not
It's
my
simple.
listing, but it's a conversation, right? So if that's the conversation, it's like, hey, who do you know? And what's the first thing we think of when you hear that? Oh, I got a door knock. Oh, they're gonna curse me out. They're gonna slam the door. So guess what? What if he says, no, I don't know anybody? Okay, thanks for taking the time to think about it.
I think for me too, in the beginning, was the hardest hurdle is yourself.
Yes.
You know, getting yourself, you know, like your parents, or like you said, your parents always taught you not to talk to strangers. But now in this kind of business, you need to talk to strangers. You need to
Yes.
train yourself to be able to talk to strangers. I wasn't a talkative person either in the beginning, honestly. But I put myself in that situation that I have to.
Yeah.
And then those, like you said, like door knocking and everything else, it become a natural thing. And then your conversation with these people is going to be a little bit different. Because if your mindset going in there, yes, of course, like you want business, right? They know that, they feel that.
Yes.
They can see that. But if you go in there with a different kind of mindset. Put it this way, like giving information before you asking something in return. That's how I, in a way, be more successful in door knocking, is that I learned that path. That I usually give, like you're saying, I give out information before I ask. Like the house down the block just sold.
Yeah.
Right? You give them that information and then you ask them. And then you start a conversation. Hey, it's very simple. Have you ever thought about selling, or have you ever know anybody think about selling or so? Because truthfully, down that house, they have multiple offer. Every house has multiple offer.
And usually, right? Usually 3 or 4 houses get listed
In the same block.
shortly after.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So that's usually how it comes up. And again, I'm literally regurgitating scripts that are burned in the back of my head. You know what I mean? It's because that's what it is. It's all a script. And if you're thinking about it, it's a just listed, just sold script. That's all it is. If you memorize that script, you can use that same exact script to door knock, you know? And again, if you do a sale, right, you should also invest in marketing and letting the area know.
Yeah. So nowadays, what is your, I guess, the biggest key point for you for lead source generated right now is? Ed?
So a lot of my previous leads were coming from referrals. So I like this last year, I was looking at it. We did the numbers. I think we were probably at about maybe, I want to say 85% was referral business.
Referral is excellent.
And again, I look at it, a lot of different transactions. But it was really mainly that. Coming into the new year, we established kind of more of like we're putting like a marketing campaign for our past clients. So for the holidays, we did some stuff that we dropped off. So I like to focus more on trying to get more business from them. Why? They're your number one cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
If they refer you to somebody that they know,
so much easier.
Honestly, man, I just show up, and the listing is agreed to, and
that's it.
And it's cool and it's nice, but then I'm not gonna lie, there's moments where we got to generate new leads, we got to find new leads. So when that occurs, luckily I do have a large database,
nice.
And a lot of folks, believe it or not, even though they come to your open house, for example, looking to buy, they may not be ready to buy for the next year, 2 years.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? So all of this kind of gets pulled into the CRM, you know. But as of right now, mainly it's that. Like if I'm out there, I'm doing the open houses. That's always been my thing.
Nice.
I always do the open houses, and we're also incorporating the marketing campaign. So that's funny. We're waiting for a listing to come back from a referral.
Oh wow!
Right.
Look at that.
But once we get that, that's where we're kicking off the campaign to then mass target the entire area.
So you get one thing, you start doing that circle prospecting.
Yeah,
right?
you have to.
I mean, that's the key point. So what is the technologies nowadays that you use, Ed? What is your favorite technologies nowadays?
Instagram.
Oh, really?
I like Instagram.
I
mean, it's that. You know, it's so I'm not like targeting and doing a lot of stuff via Instagram to promote just real estate. Like I was looking at a couple of like content creators and things like that, and then they were always talking about like kind of like a 80-20 split. So you do like a lot more, like 80% would be more personal, and then 20% would be more business.
That's correct.
Take it however you want it. Fluctuate it 50-50, whatever you want to do. I just feel like as an individual, when I'm looking at social media, if I see somebody just like blasting one particular thing, it kind of just you kind of just like glaze over. You know what I mean? So like I don't want to just bluntly throw it out there, but it's like I want to put it out there subconsciously, I guess, subliminally. You know,
you got to be yourself. Like they say, genuine, right? I mean, you're gonna be who you are, and then. Would you recommend like newer people to be more focused on the social media content? Or
yes and no.
Okay.
Because I do feel that if you do spend a lot of time trying to create content to put on social media and you're not creative enough, you could spend a lot of time there.
Yeah. It could be a zero kind of thing.
Yeah. So then you're gonna really pull away from the other areas, which is hard.
Okay.
So then you gotta have a well balance. You know what I mean? But honestly, I would focus more on what's going to generate revenue. Right? So if you're new, get to those open houses. link up with some of the associates in your office, ask them if they need any assistance. Listen, you never know. That right there might just be your stepping stone. You know what I mean? Outside of that, interact with people. Reach out to your database. If you're new, let your database know, hey, I'm new into real estate. I'm doing work here. This is what I have going on. I linked up with a large brokerage. We did just alone last week. We did over 100 sales. Things like that. Like, get to know your company. That way, you're not just shining the light on yourself and trying to tell everyone about you, because, quite frankly, everyone who follows you knows who you are already. So if you were hanging out last week drinking at the bar with them, they know that. And, oh, guess what? I'm a realtor now. What? You know what I mean? Like, so you have to start to come out and then present that and say, hey, look, this is what I'm backed by. So don't be scared about it. You know what I mean? I can't say it any other easier way. Like, you just got to develop the skin for it. Like, you can't be focused on the fear of it. You have to be focused on the gains, I guess. Right. Yeah. And not that we're just thinking about money. It's just that you're focusing on the gain. It's because, hey, at the end of the day, what happens at the closing? People are happy. Yeah. Keys are exchanged. Emotions are high. Yeah. You just did something. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got paid for it, but like,
you made a dream come true.
Yeah, like
you did something to change that person's life.
Like, I get it. We have to pay bills and everything, and we need the money to pay. Of course, 100%. Yeah. But honestly, like, it does feel good when you see people like happy, crying. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. You don't understand. Like, we had a family that was living in an apartment, renting an apartment. I think it was like maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 to 8 people. Wow. In like a 1-2 bedroom apartment in Elmhurst. Okay. They were there for years, and then they started to have issues, I guess, with the landlord. So like, throughout that entire process, mind you, my wife and I are here helping her, and we're hearing them out. So the other part that people don't look at is that we're almost like therapists, right?
That is true.
Like, people are looking for a home, and sometimes it's like, hey, it's my first time buying. I met my partner, and life is going good, and we put money, and hey, we want a fireplace. Great. But sometimes you get the individuals that unfortunately had a unfortunate scenario, and now they have to buy something, and that whole process could be scary. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, like, I'm going through something, and now I have to buy something, and I don't know this guy. How can I trust? You know what I'm saying? So there's like so many different emotions there. And imagine when you come in, now you have to be this extra nice person.
I know how you feel in that part.
That's the relationship building part.
Relationship. That's what people need to learn more.
Yeah. So
in this field.
So if you get off, I guess, on a good foot with the individual, and you go through that entire process at closing, the check is nice. But man, when you see the look on their face and they're just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Man. Dude, we leave happy from the closing and we're just like, wow, that's so great.
That's the best thing. Yeah. I mean, it's like open up a box of gift in Christmas time. Right? Is the joy, that kind of joy, like, oh wow, you accomplished something.
You created this.
You did it. I think that's another thing that motivates me nowadays as well too. Is like, be able to help more people see that more. Yeah. And then accomplish that, because it is the biggest. First is like, buying real estate is the biggest thing in their life. Selling real estate is the biggest move in their life. Everything that's a livelihood, right?
Yep.
A house is a livelihood.
Yep.
It's so much emotional attachment into it. There's so many things that involve in that process. So you need to be able to kind of like, if you would say, handhold them, honestly.
Yes, you
through
have
the
to.
process. You're the expertise, and you need to be the one that is like more calm and more, not super emotionally, and to be able to guide them to the right path. And then by the end of the day, yes, getting that check is a big bonus, but seeing that smile and seeing that ability to help them accomplish certain things, that's the amazing part. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is the high for me nowadays too.
Yeah, man.
That is the awesome part.
That's the beauty part of it.
That's the beauty part of it. Yeah. It's not just about the money thing nowadays, but it is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Money is the biggest thing for everybody, but it's seeing that too as well. That is part of the journey, because everybody have a different story.
Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, every person I met or every clients that I dealt with, they have a different story. And every story is amazing. I mean, everybody has certain things that they
you know what's crazy? That same family that I was telling you guys about. So throughout that process, my parents, I helped them move to Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we sold their home here, which was nostalgic for me because it was my childhood home. Oh. So it freaking killed me, bro. But we helped them kind of do that transition. And then here, when I met this family, they happened to be also from the same nationality.
Oh, wow.
So we were just casually having a conversation. I was like, yeah, you know, my mom, like, they cook almost similar dishes. And I was just like, oh, yeah, you know, my parents moved. I helped them move. She's like, oh, wow. So they're not here? She said, no. So she's like, oh, you know, okay, no worries. The following week, when we set up appointments, she came with food.
Yeah.
And from that point on, anytime we met for appointments, she always had lunch for us.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That's so nice, man.
And it was just like, you don't have to. No, it's, you know, we're sure you're hungry. Like it was almost like they felt bad for bothering us, yet it was our job to do what we do. But because we were doing it so well, they just felt like they needed to get. You see what I'm saying? Like so when you start to develop that type of connection, it's different.
It's different.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like now it's like. Now it's like I'm eager. Now I'm eager to help them find this property, or I'm eager to help them sell it because now you're attached to that emotion.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But the key is, like you said, you can't be the one that's all rocky on emotion. You have to be
the stone,
the North Star. You got to be the point of reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's not overreact about that. Or, hey, look, this is something we should bring up because this is an issue. You know what I mean? I'm not saying hide it from them, but you just have to learn how to say it. Like, if I got to deliver bad news, right? It's not going to be like, hey, your cat died. You know what I mean? Like,
you got to ease them in a little bit.
Hey, by the way, the buyers are asking for a $20,000 seller's concession because they saw the windows were dirty. You know what I mean? Like, what?
I know.
You're not going to deliver something like that, right? Yeah. For the most part, if I get information, right?
Yeah.
Two things I do is I analyze it, and the second thing is if I can fix it, then let me fix it.
Nice.
Because what I do enjoy is that if I do bring something to your attention, right? Like, hey, Brian, listen, got a second? Yeah, I got to talk to you real quick. So the buyers are asking for a $20,000 seller concession, but good news. I actually already spoke to them. We ironed out the kinks. I told them that that's not what this costs. We can get somebody to take care of it, whatever the case is, but they agreed.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to just say, hey.
That's the skill.
Cat's out of the bag.
See, it's because just a different tweet of the language that you have to express. Well, that has come from experience to non-experience. I seen some agent, like you said, they just said the cat is dead.
Yeah.
You know,
and what's the next question? And then it's so funny because I feel like we like if you do this, you know it's coming, right? And it's like, oh, the cat's dead. So what are you supposed to do? What are we gonna do about it?
I know.
I don't know. Let me get back to you.
You gotta revive them.
I don't know. Let me see what I could do. Let me see what I could do and get back to you.
Right? I guess the thing is, you need, as an experienced agents or even new agents, you need to understand the situation and how to interpret. You need to, like Eddie said, step back, take a look, see what you can handle and what you can do before you send that message. Don't be the messenger.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
If you're a messenger, then you're going to mess up your own self.
Yeah.
You need to be able, you're the expertise, you want to be that professional, you want to be able to solve certain things before, that you can do in your best ability before you relate that message to whoever it is.
Yeah.
Right? Seller or buyers, that doesn't matter. But you need to be able to step back, take a look, and then try to see what you can do before you relate that message.
Yeah.
I see a lot of agents too. I mean, they're like messengers. Even right now. Even right now. I've seen so many agents, they just messenger. For instance, like if you tell them certain things, they're like, they just go back to the seller or go back to the buyer and say, hey, this is this. Oh, I need like a $50,000 escrow money. I need, this window needs it. It's just it's a little crack on the window. How can I change it? The deal's going to die. You just tell them.
That reminds me of Ron Burgundy, the Anchorman, the movie, where he just reads the teleprompter. Like, that's basically like you tell them something, but it's almost like they'll just repeat the same exact thing without even realizing what they just said. You know what I mean? Or where that emotion could take the person.
Oh, yeah.
You know
because this thing is very emotional.
100%.
Oh, man.
It's funny. We're in a crazy emotional business, yet we can't be emotional. How does that even make sense?
It's mind-blowing.
Right?
I know. We had to be that, like you said, the North Star, and that stone for them to, that come down to it. You need to be that person to analyze things for them. You can't be the same thing like emotional. You have to figure out certain things to make a deal happen. Luckily, if you're a new agent, maybe a deal can happen like very easy, right? But for existing agent that have the thing, you need to work a lot more. Like you said, you need to know the process. You need to understand the market. You need to understand so many other things to be able to analyze certain stuff. So you need to build that skill out in real estate. That's you can get your license easily, but that skill that you need to attain is so much more, right?
Yeah.
That experience that you have to get.
Yeah, which you develop over time.
So how many years you been in the real estate?
Since
field?
2018, so
Wow.
I think that's what, six years?
6 years already.
Yeah, 6 years.
Wow.
During the pandemic, didn't feel that way. It felt like a lifetime. Yeah, man.
Well, the pandemic time is I think for every single person is crazy time, and so
Yeah.
many people drop out during
Yeah.
the pandemic too. I feel like, but whoever surpassed it now,
Yeah.
reaped the fruit of the labor. I would say.
I remember hearing in the office, like when you would see people, like I would see people going hard in the winter time. Right? And it was like the holidays are coming. Like, what are you doing? Like, the attorneys are off. The banks are closed. What do you do? Like, it's the end of the year. What are you doing, right? And it was crazy because come winter, spring, it's almost like they were already reaping those rewards come the end of winter, beginning of spring.
That's right.
Right? While the people that took the vacation are now coming back to
Doing it.
redo it.
Yeah.
And then the crazy part is that the other thing I learned in the industry was that, like, we could be top agents. You could be a top agent, but come tomorrow, it could be someone completely different.
That's
it could be
true.
someone completely new.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like, it occurs. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? Whatever we did to get to that level, we just have to keep doing it, period.
It's a nonstop battle for real estate. Nonstop battle.
And it's like working out.
That is true. It's just like working out.
Just like working
You
out.
got to build that muscle.
100%.
Constantly, right? You a little because I'm eating that. I got to
Dude,
look good.
I told Priscilla too. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna go with like more of like a Brooklyn look. Yeah. I should have threw a suit on too, man. Damn.
No, it's all good. No, you look good. You look good. I mean, this is great. But let's jump to you now, Ed. I mean, for you, let's talk about yourself. What area do you serve in New York City now? So they would know as well. So.
Cool. So I predominantly like to focus in Queens and Nassau County. I do business in Suffolk. I'll do it in any other of the 5 boroughs, but preferably, my niche is really Queens and Nassau County.
Queen and Nassau County.
Yeah.
Cool. How are they going to get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram at NYC Homes with Ed. You can also hit me up. Can I give him my number?
Yeah, sure. Give them your number.
Take down my number.
Yeah.
Ready?
Don't take my number.
Don't take his number. Take mine. All right, ready? I'm going to let you get a pen and paper. Grab the pen and paper. Yeah. You got it? 646-217-8119. Once again, that's 646-217-8119.
So any kind of like last advice for people who want to get onto real estate?
For people who want to...
Maybe that's the one part. People want to get onto real estate, I'm going to give you 2 parts. People want to get onto real estate, and then if people want to use you as a seller or buyer agent. So let's do the people.
All right, I'm going to ask for the second part after I'm done with the first part.
Yes.
So first part.
Yeah.
What was it again?
So for a new agent, what would you recommend, or what would you do?
So new agent,
or even existing agent.
Yeah. So whatever. If you're, I'll put it this way. I guess if you're either a new agent or a seasoned agent,
they game.
Yeah.
What do they need to do to improve their game?
So everyone is different, but if you're either or, and maybe let's just say this way, in a rut, right? Because it occurs. Sometimes we fall out of place. We just take a break. We don't come back from the break, and then we realized months passed.
Time flies now.
You're looking out the window and the summer's here. So what I would say is
what are your recommendations?
Yeah, what I would say is just, look, you got to get back on the horse, right? You got to get back into the groove of things. We all hate it, right? It's like, maybe now I enjoy going to the gym, but if you asked me before, I would tell you I hate going to the gym, right? I hate doing it, but I still have to do it for health purposes, right? So I still have to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, fast forward, it's just become like it's just become like your phone in your hand, basically, right? It's like just it's second nature now.
Yeah.
Like I need to wake up and go to the gym. Like the days that I don't do it, you can ask my wife. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like pacing back and forth. There's energy that I still have that I haven't released. You know what I mean? So it has to occur that way. It throws me off. You know what I mean? So what I would say is find something, and it doesn't have to necessarily be what I would say in real estate, but find something that you can put yourself to the test to. And what do I mean by that, right? I always heard it in business was consistency and persistency, right?
That's true.
If you're consistent, you're going to be persistent. And I always heard it, and I'm sitting there, consistent, persistent, right? That's all you think of. Somebody says it. So what did I do? I put it into working out.
Yeah.
So through the efforts of me working out, and over the course of time, that now 2 years later, I am where I am. And from that little experience, I realized that if I just did a little bit every single day, that later on down the line, I'm going to be where I want to be, better off, whatever the case is. So look at it in the same concept, right? You're gonna make it as long as you believe you can make it, right? If you believe you can make it, you're going to make it. If you don't think you're going to make it, you're not going to make it. Simple as that. But put it out there, go out there, tell yourself, hey, you know what? I'm going to take it one day at a time. Hey, I'm going to go, hey, you know what? I'm going to door knock today. You know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to make some calls. You know what? I'm going to go do an open house today. You know what? I'm going to call this for sale by owner. And you don't have to look at it as, oh my God, I have to do this for the next 3 years, right? Because we all do that.
You have to start somewhere.
We all do that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I'll tell you right now, and this is going to be something that's going to hinder you the most, is that when you get to the office and you see somebody who's been there for 10, 15 years, and then you start to compare yourself. I can't compare myself to your level because I haven't been as long as you.
My level, no.
You know what I mean? But it's just that. It's just, I can't, right? There's things that you have. There's things that look at this. First of all, we're in a townhouse on top of a condo building overlooking the Verrazano Bridge. Like, I would love to have this listing, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not going to let it hinder me. I'm more in shock and awe, and I'm like, yo, I can get there, right? If I just stay steady, I know I can get there. So have the same mentality. If you stay steady, you're going to get there. Know you're going to get there. See that you're going to get there. No matter what anybody says, just keep envisioning that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
No matter how. I don't know
Manifest.
how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know I'm going to get there. And that's the kind of mentality I think you should have coming in. Whether you're in the rut, whether you're a new agent, you have to have that mentality that no matter what you do, you're going to succeed. And as you move forward, take the advice, go to the trainings, right? A lot of our brokerages have trainings. Go to them. That's how I learned. You know what I mean?
Have an open mind.
100%.
I feel that. That's how I feel. I think a lot of new agents don't have that open mind yet. They need to be more open mind and more willing to adapt, right? A lot of them still have that, what I'm seeing, still have that mentality of like 9-to-5 job or so.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't changed
employee
that switch
mindset.
yet. Yes, employee mindset.
Yes.
In real estate, you have to be, like I said, entrepreneur,
Yes.
self-motivated,
Yo, that was a nugget right there. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah. Mindset.
It's true.
Mindset. Coming into real estate, what I'm seeing is a lot of people need to switch that mindset now to become your own boss. Don't think about the company, right? Think about you serving your own self, put it that way. What you need to do.
That's the thing. And yo, I'm glad you said it, man, because it's true. The employee mindset, you just think that if I do this for a week straight, that on Friday I get paid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way.
That's it. Man, you don't see that paycheck for like
there's been time, there's been month. Yo, let me
I've been
tell
through
you,
that too, man.
there's been times, months.
Yeah, there's months.
Months passed by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I don't know where a month hits and 6 closings, 5 4. And you're like, oh, back on top again, right? You're like, this is good. But what's the thing with that is it's cool and it's good and it's great. But it's just that imagine if you did it consistently over the time, you wouldn't go through those extreme emotions.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's what real estate costs.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get that big buck like a couple months later, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're a couple months and don't do what you need to do.
Yeah.
You be falling back down again and then start resetting.
But that's the business. That's entrepreneur. Why? They don't get paid time for dollars. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, I put this time in, I'm going to get paid for that. No, their payment scale is like something that is never heard of to someone who has an employee mindset, which is why it's hard for them to do the switch, because it's something that they just cannot get their head around. You know what I mean? So yeah, to your point, I think that's another part. If you're coming into this, that's what you have to
do.
Out the bat. You need to be like, hey, look,
business mindset.
I know I'm not getting paid on Friday, so I need to keep making these calls and knocking on these doors so that I can get these checks.
Yeah. Until you get to a certain level.
Yeah.
It starts getting a little bit easier and easier, right?
Yeah.
And
I always heard that. The first year or two is the toughest for you ever. You're going to work the hardest the first 2 years. But then after that, and it's not that it gets easier so much, it's just that your work is people know your work. People are referring you. You have referral business. And then you start to invest into these lead companies and get more leads. And now your business starts to multiply. So again, these are the steps that you would want to get to. But, you know, it takes time.
it takes time.
It's not something that happens overnight. My first year in real estate, I don't know if I told you this.
No.
How much did you make your first year? If you don't mind me asking.
0.
You made 0 first year. I'm the man, boy. My first year in real estate was that rental deal I was telling you guys about earlier.
I think I made a rental too.
And it was $670.
Wow.
My first year in real estate.
Oh, real? Oh, my God.
First year in real estate, bro.
Dang.
I was hyped.
Yeah.
I was hyped.
Look
I said
at that,
I did it.
First year, that's whole year, you guys.
One whole year.
$600 something.
And somebody tried to take half of my commission.
And somebody tried
to steal half of my commission.
Like, what the heck is that? That's crazy.
Yo.
But you see, people think real estate is all the glamour and glitz. That is true, because that's what social media brings, and that's what TV are selling, right? But the reality of real estate is a hustle.
100%.
Is a business that you need to really pay the price to actually understand.
Yeah.
And all these guys, I guarantee you, all the top producer, whoever it is, they have been through that roller coaster, right? They've been through that mud and battle to get to where they are. Unless they are fortunate to have somebody already guide them and put them onto the path that they need to understand and do, then they will become very successful.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, give it this way for a lot of people, not to discourage them, but to encourage them, real estate, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You can make unlimited amount that you wanted to make. That's why it's a business wise, right? But yes, you will take that hit of like not getting paid, not getting what you needed on time. So you really need to come into this field understanding those kind of concepts.
Yeah.
And putting yourself out there to become success. But when you go over that hurdle, that mountain of that time that you pay,
it tastes so sweet. Victory tastes so sweet.
It tastes very sweet.
Yeah.
Yes, it tastes
it's
very,
true,
very
man.
sweet. You know, but in the beginning, everybody paid that price.
Oh, yeah.
I paid for it 3 years. Well, I was playing around with it for my first 3 years in real estate. I did deals here, left and right, but like I told you, I wasn't taking real estate really seriously in the beginning. I didn't really learn what real estate actually is until that 3 years of mine came up when I was in a financial crisis of myself and different bad investment and all that other stuff. Yeah. Real estate got me out of that. Just a little snippet of what I was in real estate. So I put myself and I forced myself to understand the business and motivate myself to do what it is. Door knocking in a freezing weather, right? Cold calling people that I don't want to cold call. But the thing is, I put myself in that mindset that I understand that the goal that I need to attain to get to a certain level, right? And then now, from what it is, kind of like I'm reaping the benefit now because I've been in the business over almost 15 years now. So it took me a long time, a long battle, but it is a great industry if anybody want to get into it, but just have to be prepared that you will sacrifice a lot of stuff to get to where you want to get. Right?
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. 100%. I have this other guy I just met too. He's a Mercedes dealership. He was in real estate too. He quit and he came back to car dealer because one thing sadly to say is that he was telling me a story that whoever that he joined or didn't really taught him what real estate really do. right? That is true. In real estate, my recommendation, I think your recommendation, is that you need to find the right people that you want to go into this industry. You need to be able to pick it up and learn. If not, you're not going to be able to win this battle 100%. Right? I don't know about you.
No, I mean, you do. You need somebody that's going to kind of elevate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need somebody who's going to kind of guide you through that process, and is where you're trying to be ultimately, right?
Yeah.
Like if we just and we hear it too a lot, become a student of the business. No, I mean, I don't know how much more simpler to put it.
Yeah.
Like, if we were actual students of the business, then we would be where we want to be. It's as simple as that. But, you know, God gave us the ability to choose.
Yeah.
And when we have our high highs, you know, we like to coast. You know, like, I'm tired of flapping my wings. Let me just kind of, you know, ride this wave down.
Yeah.
And then once you get in close to the ground, like, oh snap, I gotta start flapping them wings again, right? Where's the next lead cut? That's so we don't want to get to that point. You know what I mean?
I think nowadays you want to get to that stabilities of that, right?
Yeah, you just kind of like you're using you want to get to the point where you're using energy, but it's effective. You know what I mean? Like you're making a call, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's super effective call. You know what I mean? Like to get to that point. And again, like, I'm nowhere near that. I would love to get to that point. You know what I mean? But it's just that I know I'm working on that. I know you're working on that, and I got to catch up to you before I can get. So it's like
nobody's catching. I feel, you know, honestly, I feel like nowadays the playing field of real estate is actually very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back in the days when I was in real estate is tough as hell. I mean, you really need to know whatever the industry is to know, right? You don't have the right guidance, the right stuff, you're not going to succeed. But I feel nowadays with social medias, with all these other influencers and stuff like that, you are actually in a way having a very fair playing field, because a lot of older generation does not know how to use that kind of advantage. The technology that they need to do. But the younger generation nowadays, I feel like they're accustomed to that, right?
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, social media can put you on the map as well. Even you don't have no experience, right, at all.
Yes.
You can, hey, show, like you said, go on open house, do video on that, do certain things. Yep. Now you're going to brand yourself even more and more on that part, so people are actually recognize and able to search you up. For instance, you know, on Google's or any on other platforms, you are having a very fair playing field now. But back in the days, it's not like that.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't like that. It's all about like word of mouth and recognition, like all these, like, you know, for instance, like I remember, like, you know, like trophies that all these companies giving out and things like that to get recognized. But no, you don't need that anymore.
There was a brokerage that used to give out golden blazers.
Really? Yeah. Oh, shit.
You didn't know about that?
I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
Golden blazer? Wow.
Yo, you used to get a golden blazer, bro. You used to be like a top producer in the brokerage.
I used to get a
They used
trophy.
to hit you with the gold blazer, bro.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, that's another way, you know, to do. But usually I get a trophy or something like that. When you get a top producer, they would
If you're watching this podcast, I want to know, if you're a part of that brokerage, are they still giving out gold blazers?
That is something, man. Gold blazers. Yo, that is. I mean, a little recognition on that.
It was like mustard gold, though.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't like that. I know what you mean, bro. Like,
like I want that real gold.
Yeah, you want like a nice looking,
glizzling gold
blazer.
Yeah,
it didn't look like whatever you're thinking.
I want the Oscar gold.
You're stylish. It would have never looked anywhere near what you wear, bro. Really? I'm telling you.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. You don't need that anymore. I mean, the playing field right now for the younger or whoever is new want to get into the business, you know, you have a very fair shot of doing what you need to do, but it takes a little time. You need to build that thing out, right? Every business, 100%. You need to build it out. You know, you need to be able to, you know, brand yourself to a certain amount of level where business understand who you are and what it is. And what is the best way, I think nowadays, like I said, to you too, right? I mean, social media is the best way of your resume to the world. Yeah,
that's what it's become.
You know? It becomes that.
That's
social media it becomes your resume, right?
Everybody looks at it first.
Everybody look at it. They're gonna search you up.
Yep.
And if you do, I mean, if it's a seller or a buyer, if you're not searching on social media for whoever your agent working with, you should do it. because you would discover a lot of things, right? Sadly to say, but that is where people are going to search you up from. You know, I get a lot of nowadays. I mean, I still do my regular routine, cold calling, door knocking, things like that. All that. I mean, I have kind of like put it into the system, mailings, everything, right? I have VA doing my stuff too as well. So nice. I have a whole lot of team that's doing what it is necessary to not get me into that cycle of yours, like going up and down and stuff like that. Still battling it, honestly. Still battling.
It's always going to be a battle.
Yeah, it's a battle all the time, constantly. But now it's kind of like becoming a little bit more stable. You understand where you need to do and what you need to do and constantly doing. But for newer agents, I feel like, you have a playing field of, attacking that and put it in showcase that. And then you have a little bit more playing field than those other older generation that's not doing it, right? If you don't show you'll be a secret agent, it doesn't play nowadays.
Yeah.
If you're a secret agent, well, like nowadays people don't believe you anymore.
Yeah. It's the foot traffic. Back then it was important to be on a commercial street. Nowadays people are so stuck on their phone, it doesn't even matter if you're on a commercial street. They're going to walk right by it.
Yeah.
Now the commercial street is Instagram, which again, I don't take full advantage the way some other folks do, which I know some of you guys out there do a phenomenal job. It's just, again, to each his own.
There's all different ways.
Yeah.
There's all different ways that you have to pick which route you want to take, which 100%. Route you want to go down.
Which one you're comfortable in.
Yeah.
If you like being in front of the camera, then do it. Do what you feel comfortable in doing.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Do that. I mean, but as what Ed said is, be consistent and be persistent, right? On that, truthfully. If
you're
going to do something, you got to commit yourself to it, right?
Yep.
Consistent and persistent. And every single day, even you do 1% of it or whatever it is, that is already good enough. By the end of the year, you be a different person already.
100%.
You right? 100%. You don't need to do a whole 100% every single day. Just that 1%, that's enough already.
You take every day one at a time.
One at a time.
You know what I mean? And look, like I said before, no one's perfect. There's gonna be days where we're gonna try to be doing what we can, do our best, and we're not. We're not gonna be. We're gonna be at maybe 30%. Don't beat yourself over it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. At least you did something.
That's right.
You know what I mean? At least you put some effort to it. You know what I mean? And tomorrow's another day. Dust it off, tomorrow's another day. And again, I said it before too in the past, is like, we're farmers. That's what we are. Yeah. We're farming, right? Farming. We're just dropping seeds. We don't know where these seeds are gonna grow from. You know what I mean? We don't know when they're gonna. We don't know when they're gonna grow. We don't know how many. But at the end of the day, when the crop grows and you see the abundance of it, it's because of all the effort you put in before.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But
any last word that you want to give to the people? Like, where can they find you? What else are they gonna do? Information. What's your plan for the future in real estate? My
plan for the future is, wow, that's a really good question. In real estate, it just hit me right now.
Yeah.
Damn, I'd like to be like an investor, real estate mogul. You know what I mean? I'd honestly, truthfully, I'd love to get into like investing in big projects.
Nice.
Clearly that's something in the future, but that would be cool, man.
Oh, good.
Especially if I get something in my hometown, that'd be very nice.
Oh, right. Where is that?
Well, I mean, I'm in Queens.
Queens
all day, baby. Let's go.
He's a Queen person, man.
Yeah, no, I'm Queens. I live in Nassau County now. But then I tell people I'm in Nassau County because I'm in the borderline. So it's kind of like, oh, you're in Queens. And then people in Queens tell me you're in Long Island. So it's like...
Who cares? I mean, you're in that part.
Yeah,
right. You're in the middle. You have the best benefit of both the world.
I'm close to the airport.
Yeah, so, that's the best way. And how's the market over there?
Interesting enough, it's again, Nassau County's blowing up.
Oh yeah,
we're actually seeing a lot more bidding wars taking place.
Good.
There's some craziness going on where people are actually overbidding on the properties, and they're still getting overbid.
Wow.
So
that's like a hot market now.
It's gonna get crazy, man. And then again, prices are just going through the roof out there too, man. So we're gonna see where the next frontier is, because I always see it that way. You know what I mean? Like, where's gonna be the next area that's gonna be the most of it, like that has I guess more affordable property. So I think it's coming to Queens. South Queens.
So hey, get in touch with Eddie before everything start banging out.
Yep. Before the prices get too expensive and then we're complaining about interest rates and prices, reach out to me so I can hook you up with a nice house in Nassau County. And
Thank
Queens
you,
if you
man.
want it.
Thank you for coming on,
Yo,
man.
thank you for having me, bro.
man, it's
We're gonna
a
sing
pleasure,
karaoke
man.
now, or
Yeah, we're gonna sing karaoke now. Look. Thank you, bro.
you the man, brother.
All right, like, share, and subscribe, guys. See you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace. Drop the mic. All right.